Okay, so for level 4, number 1, it says to divide the fractions. So we have a 3-step process on how we divide fractions, and so it's listed right here. It says number 1 is to make improper. Number 2 is to keep, change, flip, and then to number 3, multiply across. So right there, right here is where that is shown. So we have 2 to 3/5 can be improper by multiplying the denominator and the whole number. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 3 is 13. So we have 13 over 5. We're dividing, and then we're going to make this an improper fraction as well. So 3 times 4 is 12. 12 plus 3 is 15. Okay, the second step is to keep, change, flip. So 13 divided by 5 times -4 over 15. So you can see the fraction has been flipped. Now we're going to do step 3, which is to multiply across. So 13 times 4 is -52, and 5 times 15 is 75. Okay, now we're not going to simplify that, so our answer would just be -52 divided by 75. Number 2, it says a large office desk has an area of 42 feet squared. If the width is 3.5 feet, write an equation to represent the area. So we know our equation for defining the area of any rectangle or polygon. It's area equals length times width. So we have 42, because that's what they're telling us the area is already found, of 42 feet squared. And we know that equals the width times the length. So we have 42 equals the width, which they have given us, is 3.5, times the length. And then we can divide by 3.5 to solve for the length. Now it didn't ask us to do that, but I wanted to show that to you one step further. So we can find the length is 12 by simply solving the equation. The equation they're asking for is 42 equals 3.5 times L. You could also write it as 3.5 L equals 42, and that'd be the same thing. Number 3, it says to solve the inequality. So we're going to do PEMDAS backwards. So you can see here that we do the inverse operation of plus 26, which means to subtract by 26. So we subtract by 26 on both sides. That means 26 minus 26 goes away. And we're left with, so you see that these are different signs. So different signs we subtract. So 26 minus 17.5 gives you -8.5. We're going to bring down whatever's left on the left-hand side, which is z divided by 2. And then to get rid of this dividing by 2, we're going to multiply by 2. Multiplying by 2 on both sides. So -8.5 times 2 gives you 17, and we keep our sign because different signs are negative. So -17. You can see our inequality is shown right here by a simple number line. -17 is labeled. We have a closed circle to represent the equal to sign, and then it's going to the right because z has to be greater than or equal to -17. So it could be -16, -15, -14, etc. Number 4, we are combining like terms to simplify the expression. Okay, so this one always is easier if you have plenty of space to write it out. You may have been able to fit it on this little box, but if not, definitely write this one out. You can see that there's a minus outside the parentheses here, and we always, if we see distributed property, that must be taken care of first. So we're going to go pew pew like Katniss on Catching Fire. So we have, it's known just not shown. There's a -1 here, if that helps. You're going to distribute that -1 to anything that's inside that parentheses. So -1 times 6x is -6x. -1 times -7y, is positive 7y because same signs are positive. And then we can just write everything else down. So I'm just bringing all the what's left down. So I'm left with this very long expression, but we can use our color method to kind of break it down, make it a little easier for us. So as you can see, I colored all of my x's pink and my y's red. And I'm going to combine all of my x's, which are the pink ones. 13 minus 6 is 7. 7 plus 5 is 12x. And then I did the same for my y's. 10 plus 7 is 17y. And you can see it's alphabetized. And then there's no constants, but if there was a constant, it would be in the back. The constants are the caboose. Okay, number 5. we're solving the inequality. We do PEMDAS backwards. So we're going to do our subtraction first. So negative 8 minus 1 is negative 9. We're going to divide by negative 3. Negative 9 divided by negative 3 is positive 3. And then we're going to get rid of the inverse operation because it just makes 1. So we're bringing down the w. W is less than or equal to 3. And the reason why is because we just divided by a negative number across the inequality sign. Because anytime we multiply or divide by a negative, we have to switch the sign. So our answer would be w is less than or equal to 3. And you can see our inequality has a closed circle. The 3 is labeled, and then it's going to the left because w has to be less than 3. Number 6 is another inequality. So we see distributive property, and anytime we see distributive property, that must be taken care of first. So we're going to distribute now. So 3 times z is 3z. 3 times 8 is 24. Now we can go ahead and start solving. Okay, so we're going to subtract 24 because we take care of our addition and subtraction first. 12 minus 24 is negative 12. And then we have negative 12 is greater than or equal to 3z. Now we're going to divide by 3 to take care of the inverse operation. Divide by 3. So negative 12 divided by 3 is negative 4. Negative 4 is greater than or equal to z. Number 7. Number 7 says Alex rides 45 miles in 3 hours. Write an equation that shows the relationship between the distance d and the time t that he rides if Alex rides at a constant rate of speed. So we're looking for the constant rate of change here. So we're looking for y over x is our formula we can use, or in this case it's going to be considered miles per hour. So we're just really finding the unit rate. 45 divided by 3 to find out how many miles per hour. So for how many miles per 1 hour. That would represent 15 miles per hour. So here we can use this as in our standard y equals mx formula, or y equals kx formula would be represented as y equals 15x. But in this case, let's be specific here in what the variables they're giving us to use. Let's use those. So miles is determined by 15 miles per hour. So if there's 1 hour, it's 15 times 1. If it's 2 hours, it's 15 times 2. And that would represent how many miles it would take them per hour. And then the last question, number 8, it asks to determine what does 1, 2 represent on the graph. Well, we can see that if it's 1, 2 and y over x is our proportional relationship formula, well, that would be for 2 divided by 1. So it's 2 gallons, because I'm finding this from the graph. It says 2 gallons per minute. 2 gallons per minute.